Hey, how's it going? Nat here. Let's see what's making news. There are some big changes on the way for vaping in Australia, with some new laws set to kick in from next week. But now there's a bit of a twist. So Josh, what's the scoop?
Well, Nat, starting from next Monday, the government wants to ban the sale of vapes outside pharmacies.
About 1 in 6 high school students are vaping, and almost every month new evidence emerges of the health harms that vaping in and of itself is causing to young people.
If the new laws do pass, vapes will only be available at a pharmacy, they will be sold in plain packaging, and the flavours will be limited to mint, menthol or tobacco. The original plan was that if you wanted to buy a vape from this point, you'd need a prescription from a doctor. But the government's just watered down the rules a little bit in order to get the support of the Greens Party. So now, starting in October, those over 18 won't need a prescription, which means anyone can walk up to the counter and just buy one. And that has Australia's pharmacies in a bit of a stir. They reckon people could start flocking to their stores just to buy vapes, which could make things difficult for other customers. But public health experts are still confident that the laws will make a big difference, prescription or not.
But we want to know how you feel about the switch, so we sent Ren to find out. Ren, go find out.
All right, let's go. Do you guys see a lot of vaping around?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot of like 12-year-olds or younger vape a lot.
Even at school, like people do it in classrooms. I've seen it.
You see a lot of people just walking around with a vape in their hand or in their pocket, and it's just, I just don't think it should be that casual.
The government put in some really sort of strict restrictions around, buying vapes. But now the government's kind of done a little bit of a swapsy, and from October 1st, you can actually go to a pharmacy as an 18-year-old and buy one without a prescription. How do you feel about that?
It doesn't really make sense. Like, what's the point of the first law to begin with?
If the government actually cracks down on it, like what it's doing at the moment, regulates it and sort of streams it into one place where you can get it from, it's actually probably going to have better outcomes.
Teaches the young generation to quit vaping, hopefully.
But I also think it's poor for the pharmacists who have to distribute it, and that shouldn't be their job or their responsibility.
People are still going to do it, I think. It's just going to make it harder for them.
It's not good for you. We know that, but people are going to do it anyway, and I think the only way to stop that is education and awareness. So.
Education and awareness.
Julian Assange, the founder of a website known as WikiLeaks, which published hundreds of thousands of secret US military documents, is set to return home to Australia. He's been in jail in the UK since 2019, but has struck a deal with US authorities where he will plead guilty to criminal charges. After that, he'll be a free man. Earlier this morning, he got on a plane to the island of Saipan in the Pacific, where he'll attend a court hearing tomorrow. Australia are out of the T20 World Cup. They were beaten by 24 runs against India after Indian captain Rohit Sharma smashed 92 runs from 41 balls.
6 runs.
Travis Head managed to belt a quick-fire 76, but it wasn't enough. After Afghanistan beat Bangladesh this morning, the Aussie team is officially out of the World Cup race. Oh, now it's time for some stories that are mildly surprising. Oh. First up, to a spot of midnight golf.
Who gets a chance to play an ice one in the Arctic Open and midnight sun? I mean, we don't get to do that back home.
Yes, it's quite late here in Iceland, but because of how close they are to the North Pole, the sun doesn't quite set this time of year, allowing these guys to play all through the night.
Here we are at 2 a.m. We're still playing. It's amazing out.
Now to the moment Travis Kelce made his debut at Taylor Swift's Eras Tour. Yep, the tour has just wrapped up its London leg of the show, and fans have gone bananas over Travis's cameo, where he's sporting a penguin suit and a top hat. Hey, he might just have a knack for this showbiz thing. And finally, to the ancient Incan festival of the sun, to celebrate the winter solstice. This is actually a recreation put on by performers in Peru, but they seem to hit all the important beats: the arrival of the emperor, the pouring of the chica, and even the sacrificing of the llama. Don't worry though, it's not real. No llamas were harmed in the making of this ceremony. Well, that's all from us today. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.